Grade A.
We chopped the whole tree down just to get one sheet.
Yeah,
This'll do.
We're heavy on the paper here. We're old school.
Royal Banks being one.
Whoa. We don't use the... Watch. This is crazy. This is sponsored by...
Sponsor!
This is big. Here we go.
Services.
So, bottom line, it's starting... When is it? Thursday. What time?
Actually starting tonight.
Tonight. The preliminary games, right?
That's right.
The 68. The Final Four in starts tonight.
Oh, this is big. This is big. Well, welcome to podcast number 23. Dimitri, 23 is who's the best NBA player of all time? We discuss this all the time.
What is LeBron James, Alex? I'll take capital cities for 400.
Congratulations, you got that wrong again. Well, 23, this is podcast number 23.
Hold on, did we start?
We started. We're talking.
Did you hear music?
I'm hearing you music.
I don't hear
didn't
anything.
the music.
I got music.
Hear music
I
already?
don't got
You
anything.
guys got music?
I got nothing.
I heard. George, did you hear it?
I got music.
I got music too.
I got nothing.
Hold on a sec. Oh, I think we did something here. That's why you're like,
You okay?
podcast 23. I love it. I'll start whenever I want.
Yeah, well, apparently you're just doing whatever you want when you want. That's just the way it
I
goes.
thought this is a dry run. I didn't know it was going on.
Well, we don't dry run. We go straight in. We're like the ultimate. If it lasts 2 minutes, it lasts 2 minutes. If it lasts an hour, it
That's
lasts
right.
an
We don't
hour.
waste our time. Nothing on the top, nothing on the back.
Exactly. Done.
The more Velcro, the better.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is big 2-3.
This is
LeBron
it.
James 2-3.
Oh God. Okay, listen.
Yes.
With the spirit of what the show is all about today, can we just at least agree today, just today, NCAA, Michael Jordan, Tar Heels. Can we at least go with that?
Yeah,
You
baby.
know what? Fine.
Fine? Fine.
I'll let you. It's the start. I don't want to mess anything
You know,
up.
let's go with the program for once in our life.
We'll go with
Let's
the
try
program.
to follow the program a little bit, okay? Welcome to podcast 23, Real Locker Room Talk. You're on with Mitch and Dimitri and two of the greatest NCAA gurus of all time.
That's right.
And weirdly enough, located here in Calgary.
Absolutely.
We got Comic Book George, a.k.a. George Liaridis. I think I got that right.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah.
And we also got Mr. Lamp Tap Mandu, a.k.a. Head Junior, a.k.a. Big Data, here with us today, talking everything NCAA
That's like a
basketball.
rap name. Like that's a rap intro.
I love it.
AKA. Like
That's
you
what
just
he
won
is.
an Emmy. Or
Welcome
what is
to
it,
the
a
show,
Grammy?
guys.
A
Welcome to
Grammy.
the show.
Can you give me a necklace that says
Good to
all
be
that?
here.
I can't wait to give you a next.
So Comic Book George and Big Data. Look at this.
This
We
is
don't
amazing.
even have
It's
nicknames.
amazing.
You guys, for like 3 minutes in, they got great nicknames.
I love them. And I've been pushing on them. I don't know if they like them, but I like them.
I'll take it.
You're okay with them?
Doesn't matter what they like.
Beautiful.
It's all good.
Well, today it's going to be heavy NCAA, heavy NBA
Yep.
because we've kind of neglected him all year long, like the redheaded stepchild. But today we are talking about it, and we thought since me and you don't follow it to that extreme, we're going to bring in two guys that actually follow it hardcore. And with the tournament starting technically on Thursday, however, as you probably heard earlier, there's 2 sets of games today, right, gentlemen?
Today and tomorrow.
Excellent. And who's playing today?
That's a great question.
Excellent. So you totally messed that up. Right off the bat.
Yeah, we're not sure.
Doesn't matter who's playing
No, it
today.
doesn't matter because
St. Bonaventure, UCLA. is a
And
big one.
Radford, Brooklyn will be playing right now. I think.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, see, I haven't even heard of those places before. That's why these guys are on here. I don't even. Aren't the Brooklyn Nets? Is that who Brooklyn is?
The Brooklyn Nets could be in this tournament.
You know,
actually,
you
and
know
they still
what?
wouldn't win it.
The best Brooklyn of all time is the Brooklyn Brawler from the WWE. Everyone knows it.
Right?
You know, everyone knows it.
He is the greatest of all time. He is.
Well, welcome to the show, guys. Glad to have you on. Yeah, we're going to go through our thing over here. But before we do, I want to thank the new guys
Yeah.
that came in and helped set everything up. They had to do 4 mics in their course today.
They looked a little stressed out.
They looked a little stressed out. Jeff's giving them some heat. But, boys, we're going to need you to cue the music. Oh, yeah.
yeah, right on the
Don't
money.
worry, Lava, it's playing. He's the only one with the mic. We're bringing to you the Macro Mind Media Metrics of the Week.
Media.
Macro, mind. Huge stuff is happening in the locker room. Thanks to Macro Mind Media. Check out our website, reallockerroomtalk.com. They built it. You can see their portfolio. These guys are doing awesome stuff. You need a website. I'm telling you, it's excellent what they do. We're exploding on Facebook and Twitter, Mitch. It's going crazy.
It's getting a little overwhelming.
It's a little out of hand.
The roster seems to be emailing quite often and sending messages, and which I'm okay with. I'm
Yeah,
cool with
absolutely.
That. Are you guys on it? Do you guys follow it at all on the Facebook? Are
Absolutely.
you on the Facebook?
I will now,
Oh,
but
well, fine. Jump in
get
anytime
the
you want, George.
Twitter
It's
updates
fantastic.
all the
Yeah, you're on the Twitter. I know you're on Twitter. Yeah,
Our guys are, and the girls that are on it, but mostly the guys, they love their NFL, and I know you guys love it, so, In your case, George, I'd prefer maybe you just stay off it.
we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that in a few minutes, don't We'll get to that in a minute, but
we got some other big news, Mitch.
Big news. What do you got?
Huge.
What do you got?
Huge. This stuff is incredibly fantastic what's happening. We alluded to it 2 weeks ago. We are now on Agape Greek Radio. It's official, streaming every episode at 9 p.m. Mountain Time.
So you mean to tell me, in Australia, they're listening to us like right after lunch?
And they're done their lunch, Real Locker Room
And then they
Talk.
get a big serving of us. right
Exactly.
after.
Late night
amazing.
sushi, Locker Room Talk.
Locker room talk.
What else do you want?
Nothing.
Pierogies,
Done.
Locker Room Talk. It's happening all over the world.
Everywhere. We are literally contagious. We're everywhere now.
We're global before.
We're global before. You know who picked us up a couple weeks ago? Russia.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
One person. It's crazy. But, we'll get
And
our
we actually think it's Putin because he's
Yeah, we
handling
think-
everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but so Agape Greek Radio, so AGAPE Greek Radio,
Yeah.
and they got a really big lineup. So I think we're the only sports show, or only
We are.
real variety show, which is exciting. But they got a whole list. So for Greek music, but it's people from all around the world.
Yeah.
So the DJs, if you haven't been on, they're literally from everywhere, like
South Africa.
Canada, Australia,
everywhere.
it's Greece obviously as well. So we're really thankful. Stan the man, this guy over here.
Yeah, thanks, Stan.
Yeah, appreciate it. So yeah, we're streaming, love it.
Speaking of Stan, and with George here, Stan Lee, Comic Book George, little comic thing. We knew we were going to bring George on, so me and Dimitri wanted to kind of throw some ideas at you.
Okay.
George is the owner of Another Dimension, correct? Did I get it right?
Another dimension.
Which is
Yeah.
the greatest comic book shop.
Dare I
In
say,
Calgary.
is it not a historical building or a historical site here in Calgary? Like, it's been around for
It's
a long
about
time.
35 years now.
Can you, tell us a bit about it. It's just tell us about the history of it.
That started back about 1983. I was going to university. Then I figured out I found a job at a comic store that was on Center Street at the time. And after the summer was over, the guy says, there's a spot open in 10th Street. Do you want to open the store together? I said, sure, go ahead. And 35 years later, I'm still in the comic book business.
That's amazing.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, that I remember actually even before we even met. I remember that's where I went for comics, especially like my Star Wars comics and all this stuff. That's just where I went. Absolutely. But
How does it feel, George? Can I ask you, like, is it with the comic book craze now? Is it like crack cocaine to the nerds? Like, now that it's all over there, like these kids just come, like, are they shaking at your door trying to get in to get the newest edition?
No,
of
they've
something?
been doing that all along. It's just somebody else is joining them now, right? So,
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Well, me and Dimitri came up with this idea. We wanted to throw some ideas at you.
Okay.
Yeah, we got excited.
Yeah, we got excited that you're here and you've seen everything. I mean, it being in that industry.
he knows what works,
yeah.
what doesn't work.
What work doesn't work. So go ahead. You had a great idea. I
Yeah.
liked your idea.
Okay, so check this out. Okay, so Mitch and I were talking last night. So there's a guy, kind of in high school, younger guy. Anyways, there's like a science project fair. He's like in science class.
Yeah, yeah.
And he gets bit by a spider.
I love that part.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not any spider. This one's like, radioactive. There's something messed up with it.
Yeah.
Well, turns out he goes home.
Right.
And all of a sudden he's got these weird powers.
I love that
like
part, yeah.
spiders. Spiders' powers.
Yeah.
Now, I'm thinking if it was a movie, either Tobey Maguire or Morgan Freeman plays him. But I came up with a great name.
Yeah, give him the name. This is the best part.
Man Spider. George, is that going to
Money.
fly?
it could work, actually, no? We got to put the hyphen right after man, though. Keep it apart, right? Because it can't be one word.
Yeah, I like
That's
the hyphen.
amazing.
Hold on,
That's
let me write that
amazing.
in.
Wait.
Man.
The Amazing Man Spider.
I like that.
That's where it goes. Okay,
Nice.
write that. Mitch,
Nice.
tell him about the Greek
So-
the Greek girl. What?
Yeah.
I don't-
So
yeah.
I've had this dream for years where there's a planet of women, right? Women everywhere. Beautiful, luscious, gorgeous, but very strong as well, right? And all of a sudden, they kind of like one of their leader ladies somehow gets portaled to Earth or something, right? But she's like super strong, but she kind of pretends like she's not, but she is. And then all of a sudden, She's trying to fight evil and all that stuff, right?
Crazy.
And I mean, she's wonderful. She's amazing. Everything. She's like wondrous. But I think that I want to go with the whole thing, calling her Amazing Woman.
Yeah, but tell it the other.
Yeah,
the other
and her
part.
special power.
Where's she from?
She's from Larissa.
Well, it's got to be Greek, of
Yeah,
course,
Greek,
right?
right? Yeah, all day Larissa. But
like
the
that.
best thing is she has 2 weapons, a clarino, right? And the second thing is an itchy cuberta. So if anyone comes at you, you just throw this, it's like a woven blanket made of goat skin, and it's very itchy. And if you get attacked by this thing, it's, there's no
but
way.
the crazy part is her clarinet,
rash or
it doesn't need reeds.
Yeah.
It just, she's the only one that can play it.
Yeah, she can, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe she has a grandma sidekick
Yeah, ooh.
who
I like
defends her.
I like that.
Write that down, man.
I'm going to write that down.
See, this is why we have open forum.
Captain, yeah, I like that.
Thanks, Big Data.
Thanks.
I should have you guys over at the store with these ideas. This is great.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Remember with the group.
Yeah, with the
Right?
group one.
So we want to diversify our comic book.
Last one.
Okay. So the thing is okay, there's a group. Well, really, it's a group of 2. Okay, and it's these 2 guys, and in the daytime they run a podcast. Now, one guy's good-looking, beautiful hair, regular size, but he's got a sidekick who claims he's 5'10", but really he's like really small, like bordering midget small.
Tiny.
Tiny.
I don't remember you bringing this one up.
They ride around. Like, remember in like Germany, like the one guy had the motorcycle,
sidecar?
and then there was like the side
Sidecar.
buggy.
Yeah.
The little guy's always in the side buggy, right? And that's what they do at nighttime, fighting crime.
How about, I'm going to scratch this idea. George, don't worry about this. I got this. I don't like this one.
No.
This one-
It's really, really good. It's really, really good, and it's going to be called. It's kind of a ripoff from Disney,
Right.
Beauty and the really short guy who claims he's 5'10". What do you think?
I'm not going to lie to you. Actually, you kind of won me with the name.
Or we could just call it Real Locker Room Talk. Mitch and Dimitri. So sit on it, George. Let us, you don't have to make a decision right now.
Okay.
Lado, same with you.
sure.
Maybe, he's got some great ideas, but I think we can make it work.
Absolutely. Now, you guys didn't come here to just listen to this. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to
Let's
the
talk some sports.
Let's get into it. This is the topic time where we talk a little bit about banter. We're just throwing out ideas of what happened. Well, today, I had a whole list of stuff, and then all of a sudden, the Minnesota Vikings decided to do some crazy things. So they had 3 quarterbacks, and they got an extra one. Dimitri, you want to tell them? Actually, you know what? Big Lamp, why don't you tell everybody what happened today?
Minnesota signed Kirk Cousins, 3 years, $84 million. According to Mitch, fully guaranteed.
That's what I heard.
It is,
Which
all money guaranteed.
Is completely record-breaking in the NFL. They do not like the fully guaranteed contracts. That's for
That's the first
sissy
one, right?
NBA guys, not tough NFL guys.
Exactly.
And Kirk did it.
Kirk
He
did it. He's revolutionary. He's recreated the wheel.
That guy's not a cousin. That's Kirk Daddy right there. That's a daddy move right
That's
there.
great. And
Only the Minnesota Vikings can have a situation of 3 quarterbacks and end up with a totally different guy.
Yeah, exactly. Bradford goes to Arizona today.
Yeah.
Horrible call by Arizona. Like, sorry, Arizona, but that's...
He's
So let me get
Teflon.
this straight. Adrian
Teflon.
Peterson, I know they released them, but what's with getting the injured guys?
Yeah. Are they trying to be... So... Yeah, forget it. I won't say it. I think we all know. So, okay, Bradford goes to Arizona. That's... Good luck, Arizona. You're going to need it.
Yeah.
Bridgewater goes to the Jets. That one I don't mind so much, but he's got still a lot to prove.
Yeah.
And Josh McGowan's still there, so I don't know exactly.
No, that's good for
Is he still
Bridgewater.
fighting for his position? Like, what's going to happen there, you think?
I don't know. Maybe in the unemployment line.
George, what are you thinking? Do you think Bridgewater's got a chance over the Jets or what?
I think so.
Yeah? You
Why
him
not?
there?
He's got to prove himself again, but he's
Absolutely.
capable.
That's
the
like
big
musical chairs. So I think Denver's going to get Case Keenum probably.
They got him. They got him.
They did
today.
get him?
They got him.
So that means the Jets lost out and they ended up with Bridgewater sounds like the last guy available, right?
I got to ask. George is a huge Viking fan.
He likes the purple team.
He likes the purple team.
I love the purple team,
So my
yes.
question, George, I got to ask you, why didn't you guys want to keep Case? The guy took you as far as anybody has ever taken
Well,
you.
don't be so suggestive. No, you know
No,
what?
well,
Because I
just
think they
think
should have
you're-
kept Bridgewater.
What? Why would you keep a guy that isn't proven? I don't understand your theory on this.
Anyways, George, let's just bypass him right here. We don't. There's enough people. I don't need Mitch right now. Okay, go get your shine box.
Yeah, cool.
George, as a purple team fan, who would you rather have kept? Let's just take the Kirk Cousins out of the way. If you got to pick one of the three quarterbacks.
That was a tough one. I think it would have been Keenum because he's probably healthier of the three of them, and he took him that far. Bridgewater
George,
again.
you can leave now. I'm just kidding. No.
Thank
But
you, George.
okay.
It's a tough choice. How do you say no to a guy who took you that far?
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Fair
Really,
enough.
right?
Yeah.
But now getting Cousins, you've got a proven quarterback, but now give him a defense to go with it. Running backs doesn't have to throw as much.
Well, here's what I'm wondering. So on the surface, Cousins looks like a great pickup, right? We saw that he was throwing the ball very well in Washington, but they got Jordan Reed as well. They got a really big guy that can kind of bail you out of certain situations. So do you think he'll be that much better on Minnesota, or maybe there might be a regress because of that option leaving him?
I think the key, guys, is the offensive coordinator, actually. We've got
Okay.
a new one, right? How would he have worked with the old quarterbacks? We don't know. He wants to implement a new system in.
Fair enough.
So now Cousins is not at a disadvantage, whereas I think the other guys would have been, in my mind, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're going with someone who's proven, someone that threw 4,000 yards last year on a crappy team. He's in his prime. He's 30 years old. Let's go for it, right?
Yeah.
I do like the fact that the kid is only asking for a 3-year term, and so in 3 years he's a free agent again. Brilliant, brilliant play.
But you know what? That's also probably the window of that team staying together.
I also heard Kirk Cousins still lives at his mom's house, so he must be Greek. So, anyways, okay. So let's get
Yako Cousins.
next question, or next thing I wanted to quickly talk about is Tiger Woods. Last week, I don't know if you guys heard the podcast. We have a list, George. I don't know if you know this. We're doing a list. So there's obviously the NCAA. We got the tournament going on this week, right? We came up with this thing because each and every week we're arguing about who's the greatest of all time. For a little while there, the big topic was Brady versus Jordan. So we actually created our own list of 64 all-time greats that we're doing a little tournament bracket for as well. The one guy we were thinking about taking off last week was Tiger Woods. And our theory behind it, mine.
Your theory.
See, I knew you were going to say
Don't.
that. Okay, fine. My theory behind it was that, yes, he dominated. He crushed it. He was amazing, right? But then there's been over 10 years now where he's not won anything except to last week. So we're thinking, this happens quite often to us. We bring up somebody's name.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So two things. Number one, we asked the listeners to basically say, does he get the last remaining spot on the 64? And so after his performance last week, it looks like he deserves to stay on. However, I'm going to put the onus on you two. You guys are going to make the decision right now. Does Tiger stay on the list of 64 or is he out? Now remember, here's a guy that dominated, was amazing. We don't need to reiterate what he's done. However, he hasn't done anything in 10 years, up until yesterday. Does he deserve to be on the list of 64, greatest of all time?
Just a quick comment. Give me some other names on the list. Just
Oh, yeah,
off
sure.
the top of your
Absolutely.
head.
You got the Michael Jordans. You've got the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars. You got Mike Tyson. You got Muhammad Ali. We're talking Roger
different
Federer. All
sports.
different
So many
sports.
golfers do you have on there? So do you
We
have?
have-
Jack Nicklaus,
Yeah.
we do have on there. And
Okay.
I think I got to check. It was Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, Arnold Palmer was on the list.
He might be on the list, yeah. Can't think of it.
I'm going to say
See?
let's keep him on because not that he's done anything, but before the 10 years, the guy kicked ass. You guys,
Absolutely.
the best at his place, profession.
I agree.
I just, you know what my hard part is, George, and now I'll bring in basketball. See how basketball
Well, hold
ruins
on,
it all
just
for
wait.
us? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, man, dude. My apologies.
So my point on this is Terrell Davis in the Hall of Fame for NFL?
Yes.
And he is, right?
Yeah.
Terrell Davis had 3 seasons as peak running back.
Right.
And short career, the other seasons were terrible. So if he's in, I got to put Tiger in your list.
Nicely done.
See, this was my problem with bringing him. He knows things
It's like a
and
win
throws
for
it at me. But just to reiterate, this is what I said. You had Michael Jordan, dominant, crazy, wins his championship, says, I'm going to go to baseball, leaves, plays a little baseball, realizes he sucks at it, comes back, took him about 50 games, and then he goes on and wins more championships. Tiger, in essence, kind of did the same thing. Dominated, crushed it, gets into a little situation, and since he has not been able to recuperate. And that's why I was like, how can you call him the greatest of all time when he hasn't done anything in literally 10 years?
But it's what he's done before.
But if that's the case, then this list of 64 can be a list of, double.
Yeah,
it
see,
can be
but
double, triple.
my argument is that when you're talking about the greatest of all time, it's tough because I would say if championships mean it or tournament wins mean it, then Bill Russell should be the greatest basketball player of all time. Okay,
good point,
because he's
yeah.
got 11. So, but when you look at Tiger, he made the sport sexy again. He made it bigger than it ever was, and that. I can hear you screaming.
I'm writing something down. It's basically F.
Yeah. But what he did in that period of time, no one else has done. So to me, I think he is the greatest golfer of all
So
time.
since I've been listening to you guys the last few weeks, and all the episodes, of course.
Yeah.
I have a name. I think you guys are not going to like it, but I think he is one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Sure.
We remember him as one of the most annoying announcers in professional sports, but on the list should be Bill Walton. I got it here for you guys.
What do you got, Big Data?
1977, won the NBA championship with the Blazers.
Yeah.
He's on one of the greatest basketball teams ever, the '86 Celtics, as a reserve. He won 2 titles, UCLA, 72 and 73.
Oh.
He was at his peak again, just like Tiger. Before he got injured, he was the next Bill Russell, the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was on pace with all those guys. And then he did a little too many drugs.
Well, screw Tiger.
Got
Get
hurt a
him
little
on.
bit.
I think you might have just accidentally got Tiger.
We're going to waste 10 minutes on Tiger
You know
Woods
what?
for.
I think you might.
You know what?
Big Data, you've done it. You got Tiger out.
He successfully voted him in and is responsible for getting him out.
Exactly. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Don't mess with Big Data. Yeah,
Don't
screw you,
mess-
Joe Boo.
Exactly.
You got nothing.
Gentlemen, let's talk. Let's get into a little basketball talk. Let's actually, right before basketball talk, I just want to throw this out here because we're on a Gappy Greek radio. Little incident happened on the Greek pitch yesterday. Dimitri, you want to throw that out there real quick?
Probably the greatest move of all time. Okay, so 2 teams are playing, AEK Athens and PAOK, P-A-O-K. They're from Thessaloniki, okay? They're playing, offside situation ensues. Player doesn't agree with it. Coaches don't agree with it. Anyways, long story short, the owner comes out from PAOK. Now, PAOK is known as like the crazy team in Greece.
yeah, absolutely.
The fan, they're like the Raiders. It's like Raider Nation.
Yeah, it's like Raider Nation.
It is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Saskatchewan Roughriders, Raider Nation,
Yeah.
and the All Blacks, and PAOK.
And PAOK. And they're all same like colors.
Yeah, same color.
Weird.
Oh, look at that. Except the Rough Riders.
Yeah.
But, some consider them the black hole of the CFL. So
That's
anyways.
true.
But, so he comes and he's got a gun holstered. He's got a full sidearm.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's not the crazy thing. The crazy thing is Donald Trump is saying they should arm the refs now.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen in the Greek
happen
League.
now.
But here's my thing. He's got a gun. Does that make the Greek League better now? Like, should they just let the owners have guns at all time? I think it would keep the game honest. What do you think?
It's crazy. It is nuts that the owner had that kind of gall to say, hold on a minute, I'm going to come down there. Like, this is Jerry Jones on steroids. He makes Jerry Jones look non-crazy.
Did he
right?
actually?
Like,
Did he actually do anything? What?
He pulled it. He pulled it on the guy. He didn't shoot him, but he
Come
pulled
on.
it. Oh yeah. So so now the whole league is suspended for
the whole league is
a
suspended.
week, a minimum of a week. They
Oh my
suspended
God.
all.
It's like that
players.
football movie with Jamie Foxx where he shoots the
Yeah.
the guy.
No,
on the
Last
field.
Boy Scout. I brought that
Last
up.
Boy
Yeah,
Scout.
That was with David Wayne's?
You know,
Yes,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All jokes aside, like that, it's getting a little freaky.
It's
man.
funny
This
that
is
he
crazy.
mentioned the last Boy Scout because we talked about it. We always call each other before we come in, and then Mitch is like, "Yeah, that was crazy. That was like the last Boy Scout."
Yeah, it's nuts, man. I don't know. Craziness
Great movie.
ensues.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
let's get down to what we're all here for. Saturday night, right before we get to the NCAA talk. Friday night, I'm at home. Turn it on. Raptors are playing Houston.
Oof.
Great game. Did you guys all watch it? Did we all watch it?
Absolutely.
I watched it. George, did you watch it
Saw
as
it,
well?
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Raptors pull off an amazing game. Amazing. Back and forth, everything. Why are the Raptors not getting any pub? Why do I have to hear more about Drake than I hear about DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry?
It's Drizzy.
Jersey.
Yeah, it's just
No, but seriously, they're the number 1 team in the league.
Right.
Is Toronto getting...
Not in the league.
Not in the league.
not the
anymore.
league in
Well,
the
Eastern
Eastern
Conference.
Conference.
Yeah,
Thank
pardon
you.
me. Do the Raptors deserve to be the best team in the league? After that performance, I thought they look pretty good. I think they're looking real good.
They're very close.
Yeah.
Golden State is still, a leg up on everybody. James Harden's amazing.
Yeah.
Houston's really good. I think Houston's running James Harden into the ground during the regular season. Same thing happened last year. Game 6 against San Antonio, he had 10 points. Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing for San Antonio. They blew Houston out. Series over. Same kind of thing could be happening this year where they're just using him too much. Now he's got Chris Paul, so he doesn't have to play as much, but his coach, D'Antoni, he plays 7 guys the whole year. So there's a good chance that they're going to get really tired. Whereas the Raptors, they took 5 minutes a game off Lowry and 5 minutes a game off DeRozan this season. You can see already, like every year Lowry is injured in the playoffs. Yeah. He's always tired by the end. And this year he looks fresh. And I think they're keeping him fresh. And the Raptors, they have if they can get out of the first round, where they always have problems, and for some reason they lose every first game of every playoff series.
Yeah. So not only that, they got to learn to play on the road in the playoffs. Maybe even against Cleveland last time, right? They were great at home, and then get blown out as soon as they went back to Cleveland.
Big difference this year, though. Raptors, the bench mob. The bench is the best bench in the NBA.
Yeah,
they're playing 12 guys which is unbelievable in the NBA. But they have that 1 5-man lineup. I got a stat for you here, Mitch.
Of course you do.
So there's
Mitch 5'6".
Yeah, 5-man units.
We should get these guys back every week.
Yeah.
What a dynamic.
Really? You know what? You guys are the only ones that laugh at his jokes. That's the problem.
Yeah, so every 5-man lineup in the NBA includes starting lineups. Anyone that's played together a minimum of 100 minutes so far in the season. The Raptors 5-man bench is number 1 in the league in a stat called net rating. That's offensive and defensive stats, and point differential. So they're the best lineup in the NBA. That includes Golden State's starting 5. They have better stats. Okay, fine. They're going against other benches, but it is unprecedented to have a bench that good.
Wow.
George, what do you like about the Raptors, or do you not like them coming out of the East?
Oh yeah, they're coming out of the East for sure this year. Now, for sure. Cleveland with their changes, I think they're going to make a move again. Boston's solid, but we're the best in the East. How we compare to the West, though? I don't think they're going to do it. I hope so. Of course, I don't think we're better than we've ever been, guys. I just don't think it's enough to take Houston or Golden State out this year.
It's the thing with the East is the Raptors are by far the best team, but it's just that LeBron James factor, right? It just Boston doesn't scare me. None of the other teams really scare me because I think Toronto is just insanely
But
deep.
here's a case in point. Why don't we talk about DeRozan the same way? Why?
Exactly.
LeBron is LeBron, sure.
Right.
But DeRozan can put up 40, 50 if he had to.
I agree, but
nobody talks of them like that. They don't say, we've got DeRozan.
Is
Everyone's
it because
scared.
they choke, though? Is it because they've always choked, so it's like, we'll see it when we believe it?
I don't know. I think if DeRozan was on the Lakers, they would talk. I think honestly, I think this is because Toronto is in Canada. I think that's why they don't get the pub where he gets the notoriety that he deserves. Like Kyle.
Because that game against Houston, DeRozan did this incredible. It was a 2-point shot, right? They did right off on the baseline.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
And that was right after Harden tied the game.
Exactly. Right after that 3.
Unreal.
Man.
But that's the difference this year in the Raptors. Like the last 3 seasons, they've been top 5 offense. So the offense is even better this year. But their defense, they're normally below average defense. They're actually a top 6 or 7.
Well, Valanciunas is finally consistently playing well because I was so sick of seeing that guy play an amazing game one day, 4 games were skata, and then come back and do he has the potential. But I hope they do. I really hope they do. It's just the only one that scares me is the LeBron factor. Believe it or not, I'm not even really as scared of Golden State this year. I'm really not. I think Houston is. I like it. I never thought of it. Now I guess it does worry me that they might tire out, but maybe not. I really think they're the real deal.
I would say Golden State, Curry's ankles are acting up again, which this was what cost him a few years ago, right? Where he had some major ankle injuries. He started running differently.
Does he have gout?
Everything.
He might have gout.
He might have gout.
Oh, you know what that means? That we have to support him then. We're big advocates on gout. So going from basketball from the NBA, we're going to go into a little different play here. But CIS championship.
But hold on. Before you go, can I bring one point about the NBA? Could you imagine right now if Durant, Harden, and Westbrook were all in Oklahoma City
crazy, isn't
still. If they just made the thing freaking work and they didn't have an owner who wasn't such a cheap ass.
Seeing those personalities, I don't think it would have worked. I don't think there was
would-
enough ball for all three.
Don't
of those
forget
guys.
Ibaka was on that team too.
Oh yeah. That's
Oh,
right.
there you okay. There you
There you
go.
go. Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
What a lineup. What
Yeah.
a starting lineup.
It's an all-star team.
It would have just created a totally different balance in the NBA, right, that we would have seen. But
And in the
anyways,
end, they didn't have to trade him. In the end, the salary cap went up enough; they could have kept him. But
Sure they
the
could.
owner just got nervous,
yeah, is it cheap? What's
and the
wrong
guy
with it?
actually, I mean, poor
Must
guy,
be Greek.
he drove into a wall, and
He got nervous. He saw the market moving, and he's like, "Oh, Fanta's moving."
Sell.
Sell. So going from that, I wanted to talk right before we get to the NCAA preview. We had our own finals here in Canada. The CIS championship was this weekend. The University of Calgary,
Really,
the
that's the
Dinos.
first that even Canada heard about it.
Yeah, but you know what? Jokes aside, it was awesome ball, man. I watched the fourth quarter at least, and Dinos took on Ryerson. It was awesome back and forth, and the UFC Dinos win the first ever time they won, right, George?
Yeah. First one.
Yeah, it was
First national
excellent.
champion.
What'd you think of it? Did you watch a bit of it?
I saw the whole game.
And what'd you think?
It was great. It was really good. Being up 10 at the half, right? I thought we were going to take it to him, but right away Ryerson comes back, and it's back and forth the rest of the game, guys. And sorry, what's the name of the Ryerson guard? I can't remember. He's probably the best player in Canada. Awesome. Hits that three-pointer, right, to
Yeah.
tie the game up. And for us to win on the last second shot, what else do you want?
Yeah, you
National
can't be-
championship.
Yeah, you can't be in a better
Well,
picture.
basketball is one of those sports, right? Like soccer, it's an international thing. So you can, you don't need ice to play hockey in China or whatever the case may be. So what I'm saying is, basketball here in Canada is getting bigger and better. And Carleton University is a program out of Ottawa. They were going for their precedented 8th straight title. So they've won 7 in a row. They've won 12 of 15.
Right.
And this year, or I was talking to Lamp earlier about it, and so the CIS and the NCAA have kind of joined forces to do some preseason games. This year, out of 10 games, Carleton won 8. And out of the 8 games that they actually beat NCAA teams, they beat Alabama, that's in the dance. They beat Providence, that's in the dance. Is it time that Canada is like we talked about the Raptors not getting a lot of hub? Why not Carleton or the NCAA going up and saying, hey, you know what, maybe we'll grab one university team that wins it, like the Dinos this year, and say, okay, come down and be one of the seats, even in maybe not the NCAA tournament, or what's the sort of the
NIT?
NIT. I think that would be neat to see a Canadian team come down and represent. I think it would be cool. Man.
Why not in the NCAA?
Well, if they can do it.
That
but
would be sweet.
we're going to get to it because there were some NCAA teams that got snubbed pretty bad. So we'll get to that in a second. But maybe they don't deserve that yet unless they can somehow.
See, if they had a list of 64 and got their fans to vote on it instead of just the media, maybe. See, that's
Exactly.
why our list is
That's
so
right.
huge.
But
That's
even
why-
right now, we said that there's preliminary games right now. What if the Dinos were to play like Brooklyn right now? Winner goes and plays the 16th seed.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be kind of
That'd
cool,
be
wouldn't
Could
it?
it work? I mean,
Yeah, would they
you guys
actually have a
follow it.
chance? Yeah.
Is that something that's
There's a
viable?
couple. So we'd have to play American rules, right? So
Okay.
The Canadian
Yeah, we
colleges
play
they play the
quarters.
international rules. 3-point lines further. They have that weird
Little wide key.
wide key, and so it's a little bit different. The ball is a little bit different. I think you'd find the Canadian teams would be like really skilled at like shooting threes and whatnot, but
Right.
they might lose out on the rebounding.
For sure, from a
That's tough.
physicality point of view. But I mean, if Carleton, do you think that, so in those preseason games, how did Carleton end up winning 8 out of 10?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see one of those games, see if they're just playing all their freshmen or exactly what they're doing, right? But,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
but I mean, for the Carleton guys, other than this championship here, that must be like the highlight of their season is to get to play these American players. They must get really amped up.
Well, it would just raise the level of
Big
standard
time.
and competition for the Canadian program up here. I mean, why not, right?
Absolutely. I think it'd be great. Well, let's get into it. We brought these two gentlemen into the studio today to talk.
Naka.
NCAA. Now, if you, Dimitri, I'm going to put this out to you. If
Okay.
somehow you can skip out on work on Thursday, you want to watch two guys in their prime.
I am. Just
you are?
Why'd you bring it up?
Well, because it doesn't matter. Hey, everybody, it's the most unproductive day in the world, so I don't know why anyone pretends like we go to work. But you want to see
They
two
actually don't notice I'm there anyways. They're like, there's some new hire in the back corner. I don't know. I don't think he's gear anymore.
If you want to see, like some people have talents like whittling wood or whatever. Watching these two watch Watching these two watch NCAA March Madness at Richmond's Pub is the greatest thing you'll ever watch. It's the coolest thing ever. These gentlemen start early and go right to the end. No joke, no timeouts, no nothing. They're not calling it 30 seconds. No, just the Thursday. I don't know if you guys are doing it.
Just Thursday at the pub.
It's a tradition.
Yeah.
It's a tradition.
Opening day, morning to night. Wow.
Full scale.
It's unreal. And
4 games at a time.
I am not joking. I know you think I'm about to say it. This is a bucket list thing. You got to do it. There's been a few times I've done this. This will be the 4th time I do it with these guys this year. There's been a couple of times.
So you got Thursday off?
Oh, well, of course, buddy. You know me.
Must be nice.
It is. It is. But this is the best part. Sometimes the tournament starts on the same day as St. Patty's Day.
Oh.
You want to see chaos? Watch these guys make their own room. There's people trying to drink beer and they're like, "Hey, boy, move, get out of the way, buddy." Yeah, it's crazy. You gotta watch.
Turn down the music.
How long has this tradition been going?
Man, we've been
How
doing
long has
it
it been now?
close to 20 years. Maybe?
Something like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a long time.
I'm telling
amazing.
you gotta watch. It's amazing to watch. It's fun. It's such a highlight of my year. It's like one of my favorite things out of the year to do. I swear to you, it's amazing.
You know what? I think I'm going to come by.
You gotta come
actually.
by. It's
We're
totally
going to
fun.
save you a seat.
Now, being that we have the gentlemen here, people are probably getting ready to do their brackets. We have the gurus of gurus here.
Yeah, they'll save you the bracket time.
I hate to put this pressure on you guys, but the people want to know. They need help with their brackets, like we all do. I'm about to write this because my bookie has taken a lot of my money over the last couple of years. So, my question right off the bat, who do you like? Which players do you want, should we be watching for? And who's a sleeper? And who got ousted? Like, answer it any combination ways you guys want there.
So I could give you some players to watch.
Sure.
If you want to use, we'll use some Dick Vitale, Dickie V.
Dickie V.
From ESPN, we'll use some Dickie
I had him
V
on the
talk.
Instagram.
No way.
I retweeted
This is
it.
your own bit. This is Big Data's big game players.
Yeah.
So how many diaper dandies do you have on your list?
That's
there,
the thing. I was going to start with the diaper dandies. So the freshmen, Dick calls them the diaper dandies. From Duke, Marvin Bagley III.
Oh,
okay.
He is a forward on the Duke team. He's going to be one of the top 3 or 4 picks in the NBA draft.
well, he's the third
He's a
version.
beast.
Of course,
Yes.
he's the better.
He's 3.0. Yeah, you're right.
He's the
3.0.
third version.
Good point.
They've had two dummy tests.
Yeah, no virus.
Okay,
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Michigan State has a 7-foot kid. His name's Jaren Jackson. Shoots threes, blocks shots. He's amazing.
So he's only a couple inches taller than me.
Is he part of the original Jackson 5? Any relation?
He's the 6th.
The fact that, well, yeah, exactly. He's the
Okay.
tallest one for sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then if you guys have been watching the news, there's a little bit of controversy, pay for players. Arizona, DeAndre Ayton, the $100,000 man for Arizona. He's just a beast. He's probably going to be the first pick in the draft. And he scores 25, gets like 15 rebounds, blocks a few shots. And
Is he a center or forward?
He is a center. He is he's a
Wow.
7-foot 18-year-old, if you can believe
Whoa,
that.
really?
Holy smokes.
Looks like he's about 25.
Get him straight. Just, he shouldn't have even gone college. Straight to the big dance.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Go on.
You see what I was doing,
Yeah,
right?
I know, you're
Mitch, he's
starting.
huffing and puffing.
Get the ring ready.
He's like, I'm numbing my arm.
George, who do you like? I know you're a huge Tar Heel fan. I know Lampros is a huge Gonzaga fan. But if you can just put that to the side for a second, and I mean, if you want your team to win, that's cool. But is there any teams that you're looking that's going to make a run, or who to look for team-wise?
You know, guys, the beauty this year is that it's wide open. You can, look at the number 1 seed, say, sure, Virginia could win, or Villanova, Duke, but any team can lose this year. What we've seen this year, there's been more. How many losses, Lamp? Like the number 1s have lost all year long.
Kansas has their number 1 seed in the Midwest. They've lost 7 games. Like, I can't remember the last time a number 1 seed had that many losses. I'm making fun of George a little earlier. His North Carolina Tar Heels, they call them the Power 5 conferences, the Big 5 conferences in college basketball. UNC 10 losses and a 2 seed.
I don't
Just
have to separate.
But you
ridiculous.
just wait. You heard it was a power conference. What conference does your Gonzaga team play for there, Lamp?
Yeah,
They're
that sounds like
okay.
a cheese.
It's called the Baby
That's it.
Conference. It's the
Yeah.
West Coast Conference. Gonzaga's been in the final game of the conference tournament 21 years in a row.
I wonder why.
They've won 18 of them, and they've won the last 6. and they just dominate their little baby conference. But they're a national power now. They're just as good as any Power 5 conference, but they don't get the love from the committee when they're picking the seedings. And that goes to the Power 5 guys.
So the level of competition is getting a lot better across the board. Is that what seems to be the trend, right? Because you're saying these top teams are stumbling a little bit.
They're dominant, but they will lose a game. Or they'll lose 2 games, right?
Okay.
And this year, like we've seen, they've lost 7. They thought for the first time now Kansas wasn't going to win their conference. They've won it how many years in a row?
14 years in a row.
14 years in a row, and they start off really bad, and they're losing at home. They lost 2 or 3 games at home this year.
They lost 3 games at
guys.
home,
These guys
which
don't
is
lose at home.
unprecedented.
Interesting.
Right?
Is that because each team now has like a bona fide superstar to some degree? Is that,
Well, the
is
one
it
and
the
done
talent
rule
of
really
each team
helps
is just
college,
better?
right?
What's that?
One and done rule really helps college. So, everyone's, instead of going straight to the NBA, these guys, they're spending 90 to 120 days on campus before they leave and go to the NBA.
In other words, this season. And
They finish a lot of classes before they leave.
Yeah, what a great double standard there is there. But anyways, we'll get into that.
But as you asked me earlier, though, Mitch, I can say, sure, Virginia will win. They're the top seed.
Yeah.
I can't say it, guys. I can't say it with conviction that they will win this year. None of the 1 seeds. They're capable, yes, but as we talk about it later on, all it takes is a bracket buster to come in.
Yeah.
Someone that's going to upset on the one side, right?
Yeah.
And look at the seeding this year. You got Arizona meeting Kentucky in the second round.
Yeah.
Duke's going to play Michigan State before the final. Like, good teams are going to get knocked out before you get in. So it's quite possible a 7-8 seed's going to be in the Final Four again.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
Right?
Who do you guys have? Just an outside pick, like just somebody to kind of watch for?
Yeah, not the favorite.
Not a favorite.
The
just
outside
kind
pick.
of a.
The
You know,
dark
everyone's going to
horse?
say 5 versus 12, right? The 12, everybody knows. But is that what you're going for?
One dark horse everybody has is Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan's won, I believe, 8 games in a row. They won the Big Ten tournament.
Second year in a row, actually.
Second year in a row, they won the Big Ten. Big Ten's took their tournament to Madison Square Garden
I saw that. Yeah,
1 week before they normally do. So they've had a week off, so everyone's kind of interested to see how they play with the extra time off than they usually have.
Is that something you think? Because like in football, I remember Nick Saban was complaining that the national championship game was just way too close together, and that they deserve to have a bit of a break. Was it a result of something like that, or did they have this planned from beforehand?
So I think it was just a Madison Square Garden's scheduling thing.
Okay.
But you have John Calipari. He's the coach of Kentucky. He's like, I know Mitch is a wrestling guy. He's like the mouth of the South.
I love it. Jimmy Hart, baby.
He's just like Jimmy Hart. They had him on TV after they played the last game, the SEC championship game on Sunday. They beat Tennessee, and then he's all complaining about, they play a Sunday game. Everyone else has already played, and they gave him a Thursday morning game in Boise, and he's like. He goes, is Boise, Idaho, near Anchorage, Alaska? He goes, I don't even know where that is. So he's already up to his antics. He's already making excuses.
He's got no love.
He's got no love.
That's amazing.
Right?
All right, so pick your team. Pick me your guy? The team that's gonna win it, and a dark horse lamp. We'll go around the table.
Gotcha. Can I give you our final 4? Is that
Sure,
okay?
absolutely.
So I have final 4. So South Region. Number 1 seed's Virginia.
Something that Mitch and I haven't been for a couple of months.
Very
It's
true.
been pretty lonely for the both of us.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, this is where I make fun of you, but I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, absolutely. So true.
So Virginia, they probably have the top skill in the whole conference. They have the best defense in the country by a mile.
Yeah, I noticed Vegas has them as the odds-on favorite.
Absolutely.
But gentlemen, excuse me, case in point, they just lost their ACC Sixth Man of the Year. So the guy that comes off the bench, so your 6th best player, let's say, right, just broke his wrist in the tournament, the ACC tournament, so he won't be playing now.
That's huge.
How much does that play a factor now?
That's a huge.
It's definitely a risk. Definitely a risk. Their region is not bad, though. The South region was just like so-so for strength of the teams in there. So I'm still going to stick with Virginia. Midwest, Michigan State. Sounds like they're. I think they can beat Kansas and come out of there. They probably Duke and Michigan State have the most talent on their teams. It's just Michigan State doesn't have the wins this year to show it. They didn't have a really tough schedule. Big Ten was down this year. East, I got to go. The most successful program, I know George is going to hate this, is not UNC over the last 5 years. Villanova. Villanova is the best program in college basketball the last 5 years.
He's gonna attack you, just so you know. Like this.
And they did
There's just
beat
no love
Georgia
this year.
State.
That's it,
love.
right?
Yeah, well, I got you in here in this room. I got to stick it to you a little bit here. So yeah, Villanova, guard laid in, senior laid in. Mitch, I know you're going to like this history. Jalen Brunson, their best player, son of NBA player Rick Brunson, who played for the 2003 Raptors.
There you go.
There you go. There's some history for you right there.
Data.
There you go. Big data.
I didn't lie to you.
Not just data. Data's
Big
for
data.
Star Trek.
Big data.
Keep your data. We got big data.
We got big data.
And by the way, I think you crushed data.
I think so too.
Like on a one-on-one, big data definitely beats data.
Absolutely. George?
So that's 3. Did you say all 4?
Oh,
so we got one more to
so
go.
he's assuming number 4 West Region. I'm a big Zags fan. I'm gonna take my
that's
Zags to come out.
Fair enough. It's all right. A little bit.
And you have Zags winning it all?
So you don't like Xavier coming out of there, obviously?
So last year, Gonzaga played UNC in the final,
And lost.
and due to some poor reffing, they lost the game somehow.
Weiner.
That's it. I love it. I love this.
Really hurt. And I watched it at George House.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that was the
George's
best
house,
part of
and-
the whole thing, guys. We watched it together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And try to imagine now that when the game's over, what do you say to one of your best friends there on the side
Yeah.
as he's crushed, first time there and he loses, and you're elated, but somehow you have to be humble.
Yes. Awkward.
Lamp, did I do a good job?
He did. And what he really did is, I didn't see it coming, is like he had his whole family dressed up in North Carolina gear. He invited his friends over. I think he bought them jerseys too.
Home
This is
field advantage.
this is
Home field advantage, guys.
80 North Carolina fans.
This
That's
year,
it.
if
Yeah.
it's the same scenario, then you have to oblige and do the same.
But he
His
has no
kids
friends.
were doing some sort of chant song. It was nuts.
It's a Viking thing.
I wanna
I'm telling you,
say-
I've seen it firsthand.
We'll-
Actually, we saw it together.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We'll do the final picks at the end in a
Sure,
round
sure.
table format.
Okay,
And maybe
absolutely.
we should put a little wager on it.
Yeah.
Whoever
like it.
comes close, right?
like it.
It doesn't have to be money. It could
Absolutely.
be, but some fun.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Done.
George, what do you like? What do you see? What do you like?
How
Final
about before we
Four?
get into that, why
Yeah.
don't we talk about teams that are on a hot streak going into this tournament? Like you said, Michigan, Connecticut, when they won in 2014,
2014.
right? Come out of nowhere, guys, win the Big East,
Yeah.
and then do a run in the tournament. So you got to be hot going into this thing,
George,
right?
do you know who has the longest winning streak in the country right now?
Jeez,
Thank
I
you,
just
Mitch.
set myself up
Thank
for that
you.
one,
Yes,
didn't I,
it is.
guys?
It goes
Thanks,
in.
Mitch.
Damn, I said, check that off.
14 in a row. 14 in a row.
So, but George, you buy into that, hey? You buy if you're coming in hot.
I think you got to look
Please.
at that, right?
Yeah.
For sure. And I got a bunch of teams here that I'm just going to put out there for our listeners.
Sure.
Kentucky, as much as I hate them too, is another blue blood team. Guys, they were so all year long. There again, there's a lot of rookies on the team,
Yeah.
first year guys, right? They're blending together now.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll go very far, but they're hot again. They won the SEC tournament. They're a team you have to watch. But then they play first game against
They
Davidson,
have,
right?
Davidson, really tough.
later. If we
Steph
talk
Curry's
about
alma
upsets,
mater.
that could be somewhere they could get kicked out. Michigan, like Lamp said, shooting better than ever, and their defense has actually picked up quite a bit. They're a hot team. Again, I got to worry they're on our side of the draw, right?
They're in the West with Gonzaga
They can
and
be
North
some-
Carolina and Xavier.
Gonzaga, of course, they're a top 10 offense, right?
Absolutely.
They're going to be in there.
You don't have to be nice to him. You can skip Gonzaga if you like.
Tell them to jump off a bridge. It's fine.
You wouldn't do that.
How about Tennessee?
I'm really down on the SEC. Tennessee, I really think they got overseeded, and that's a great one. The last few years, the 14 seeds have been knocking off the 3 seeds quite a bit, and the tradition in NCAA is the 12 seed knocks off 1 or 2 5 seeds every
Guaranteed,
single year.
guys.
So is
to put in
Tennessee
the
a
books.
12th seed?
Sorry, Tennessee's a 3 seed.
3 seed.
Tennessee's a 3 seed.
And they're
Okay.
playing a 14 seed, and you got to watch out. These 14 seeds, they get no love from the committee, whatever.
Well, you know what
but
I
they're
think?
really good.
In every tournament, it's the first round jitters. Doesn't matter if it's NFL, NBA, NHL. Everyone is on the same page. That's why you always see some of these great teams, they struggle if it's a best of 7, or even in these games, you're like, where did they struggle from? And then the moment one of those teams, like a 14th or 12th, wins, if you got that belief system in you, you can go, right? But as everyone progresses through a tournament, you just get better and better and better, right? So there's the Cinderella story. You're like, okay, it's Cinderella, but if you get to a conference final,
Yeah.
or a Final Four, you're just as good to win the whole thing as anyone else.
The low seeds will make it to the Sweet 16 often.
Yeah.
They'll win the first game, and then they'll get the second game too. Rarely do they keep going. George Washington's a good example. They were like a 12 or a 13 seed. They made the final four. Butler, Brad Stevens, coach of the Celtics, Gordon Hayward. That team made the final, and they made back-to-back Final Fours, and they were a nobody back then. But again, these small teams, people don't take them seriously. They get low seeds. All of a sudden, they show up in the tournament. They're pretty darn good teams.
But guys, too, this is one game scenario, guys. You still got to win 6 to win it all, but it's one game against one team. Like, it's not a best of 7, best of 3, best of 5. One game. Guy gets hot, you're in it. Gets really hot, you could win it.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So that's why you say anything happen. But like Lamp says, you can be hot, but all of a sudden, by the time you hit the Elite 8, top teams are there.
Yeah.
Guys have been weeded out. You still got to bring it. Now you got to bring it against the best.
Kemba Walker got hot for 2 months. They won the Big East tournament, and then they won the whole thing.
Absolutely. Now let's talk. Let's switch gears a little bit. Kind of going from first gear to fifth, and watch how fast this guy ignites. So the last couple of weeks,
your pants are moving.
Yeah, I'm getting it. The last couple of weeks, we have, and through other podcasts, me and Dimitri get into this argument quite often. Being that you guys are heavy into the NCAA, you guys see it, you guys actually follow it, even from when the recruiting stage. I'm on the fence, or not on the fence. I'm on the side of the players should not be paid. Everyone's
you're going to go just... no one wants
hold
to
on, 2 seconds, man. 1 second.
He wants players to not get paid.
Exactly.
I think the players should get paid. We'll get into it. George, we'll start with you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
George, your thoughts, paid or no paid?
Okay, first let me set up that I didn't want anyone getting paid to begin with. But as I'm seeing it going along with the one and dones, if a guy is going to the NBA, and he knows he's going to the NBA, everybody knows he's going to the NBA, let his agent give him $100,000 for the year, but it's out in the open. Everybody knows. The rest of the players are on a scholarship. Mm-hmm. They're getting paid to go to college, right, to get their degrees, to go on, because not everybody's going to make the NBA. So if a guy knows he's one and done, what's the problem with paying him the money? He's leaving it. Like what happened with Simmons, as soon as the season was over, he quit school. He didn't even want to play 1 year at college, but he had to go to the NBA.
Yeah.
So who are we kidding when we're not paying these guys? Billions of dollars going to the NCAA. The Fab Four back then, right, when they played, they sat there and they realized, they looked at each other and said, you know how much money they're making off of us? Yep. They're the guys that came in with the black socks, the long shorts. They started a craze, right? They saw nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Right?
This year's tournament is going to make CBS, TBS paid $900 million just for March Madness.
But what does that have to do? Again, I go back to it. These kids...
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
He's saying he made a point. I'm not.
I know. I just want these guys talking a little bit. Everyone, okay, you're rebuttaling.
I'm rebuttaling. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, they have an option: go to school, get your degree, finish, or go to the NBA, like George says. And
but Mitch, if the guy can't go for the first year now, he can't come out of high school.
Right.
Why should he be punished?
Right.
Well, is it not, I'm big college, okay? Right. I don't want him to get paid, but the logic behind it says if they know he's going, right?
Yeah.
Hire the agent right up front. It doesn't have to be hidden.
Right.
You see what I mean? Let him get his upfront money. Like, why hide it?
They're exploiting these kids.
Absolutely.
You want to say something because I think I like where he's going here. Let me turn my. I can see he's nodding his head. I'm gonna like this. Go ahead.
First of all, you do not want agents fronting kids' money.
Exactly.
Because those kids are going to be broke if they ever make any money in the NBA. The agent's charging them interest. He will get all his money back. You just, what I think is, so first of all, actually in a business scenario, I met an ex-Gonzaga player. He was working for an IT company. And he used his profile at Gonzaga, his
realized
networking.
Realized it was got back to Gonzaga again.
Yes, exactly.
To get a really good job. And then he told me a whole bunch of Gonzaga players work at this company. They'll have great jobs. The networking you get, being the big man on campus in your state pays for what you're getting to a certain extent. But I say give everybody some money, a stipend. You don't have to call it a salary because they can't be employees or this whole thing blows up.
Exactly.
Then give them like 25 grand each for the year. Just so these guys can't even go to a movie. Some of these guys are
That's
so
what
poor.
I'm saying. Thank you.
Give them but don't pay them
Mitch's problem is he thinks when it comes to salaries, you got to give these guys a $5 million
Well, that's what they're expecting, man. That's what they're
wanting. No, it's not what they're expecting.
They are.
Mitch, this is my point. Okay, take the sports out of it. Are there students that go to these colleges in other programs that are there on a full scholarship?
Yes.
Okay, are they allowed to have jobs?
Yes.
Okay, That settles that debate. So why is
But
it that
that-
the people in sports
Yeah.
can go on a full scholarship but can't get a job?
Listen, I'm
So
not
let them
saying-
take the bribes.
I never. The system is flawed for sure. There's two fantastic ideas I never even thought of that came up in this
Great
discussion.
ideas, actually.
Fantastic
Great
ideas.
ideas.
To your point, you make a good point. But at the end of the day, these kids are going to the school not because of their academic prowess. They're going because
Exactly.
they can shoot a basketball.
Exactly,
or
and that's
catch a
why they're
football
getting
or a cake.
exploited. They're
but
getting
hold on, but
recruited.
they're getting a full ride scholarship, man.
It's a great thing LeBron James has his engineering
These
degree.
kids that you're talking about that are working at a coffee shop have to work at the coffee shop to make tuition, man.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, bro.
They're student
and they're
loans.
still not even covering anything. So
student
what are you talking?
loans.
You know what? One day I would love to go to like. One day I want to go get like a kid from Harvard that's on the basketball team and one that's a medical student. We'll see them. You want to see a real fight break out? Watch these two go at it.
Oh, geez, come on, man. Come on.
I'm
The
just
medical
saying.
the medical student has a more promising career.
Yeah, after how many years is it going to take for him to pay off the tuition?
The moment you take the athletes in the NCAA and basically tell them who gives a shit whether you attend classes or not. No, you have to attend.
That's up
we'll
to them.
Take care of
It's
the
called
grades.
being a big boy. It's called about going to class if you want to go. If you don't want to go, fine. Go to the NBA. You have a fizzled out career and you got nothing. You had an opportunity.
When we
to go
make
to
it
that
big and I get paid, and you're on a podcast scholarship,
you better. You remember this was our idea. This was a double idea. Don't you dare try to take this away
Look,
from me.
the
right
point is that if the NCAA never exploited them to make their money, then I don't think anyone would have a problem with it. But the fact is that this whole program, you have coaches making millions of dollars a year.
More than NBA.
More,
Yeah.
There you go.
Mike Krzyzewski makes $9 million a year.
I'm not. I
Nine
never.
million.
When did I say that the coaches should make that much money?
No, but my point is, so every other part of the organization, they treat it as the exact business, but just not the players that are playing for that.
Guys, I have a problem more with someone can't buy them dinner. So think about it, right? Guy comes to your
Right.
restaurant on campus. You're just off of there, right? You got a restaurant. You can't buy the kid a meal because you want to.
The problem
He
is they
can't
take it
accept
too far, though. Like
That's the problem. Yeah,
there was one kid. He
didn't.
didn't play for Kansas this year. The reason he didn't play is a dealership in town had given him a car, and he crashed it under nefarious circumstances, and he ended up going to Bulgaria to play because the NCAA never cleared him.
Great
Like,
word, by the way.
So let me ask you, you think it's a problem he got a car?
Well, I mean, where does it end, right? Like, so you're going to tell me that Kansas can get a guy because they have a dealership there giving Escalades to all the guys, or some guys in some small school and they're just giving them Corollas? Of course, the guys are going to go get the Escalades.
But
The mileage on a Corolla is much better.
Okay, slightly
Absolutely.
different topic now. The Blue Bloods are still going to get the best players overall, 80, 90% of them, because they want to go play there. They want to play in a 20,000 seat stadium.
Right.
They want that rabid fan base, right? They're going to get those kind of guys.
It's true, and I agree with you, but I'll tell you the seedy side of the NCAA. The court case came down with the EA Sports, Ed O'Bannon, your likeness. So they said, oh, you got to start giving the players a piece of the action. Jersey sales, what did the NCAA start doing? Number one fan on the back of the jerseys. That's what you get. That's what you get in the store when you walk into the stadium. You don't get Bagley the third.
Right.
You get like all these other stuff because they don't want to share the money. They're so, money grubbing. It's unbelievable.
It is bad,
terrible,
but at the
man.
same
It's
time,
terrible.
it's this discussion's going a couple of different ways, and we'll end it because we got to get to the best segment of all. However, in all honesty, with all due respect, it's going to the point where it's flawed. It's been destroyed.
It is
They do
flawed.
have to blow
That
it
we
up and
agree with.
restart. There's tons of great little ideas that came up out of this. I love it, but I don't like the idea that anyone thinks that they're not getting anything, because they are. The education that they're getting, and if they don't want to utilize it, that's up to them, man. But I'm telling you, they're, like you said earlier about getting the profile. Like,
Yeah, but it's smoke and mirrors what they're trying to give
But
them.
that's
They're
up to
like,
the- but
they're like,
Dimitri-
hey,
Dimitri,
yeah, we'll
at
give
the
you an
end of the
education,
day-
but we don't want you for your education. They don't care.
They know, Dimitri. They're not dumb, man. They know what they're getting.
Exactly.
All I'm saying, too, on a quick note is I'm talking about the kids that are going to go NBA. You're talking top 15, 20, 30 guys. Those are the guys I want to see get paid by their age. Like, don't do it under the table, right? Everybody else is a student to me.
I just think the way they have it set up, it's separate from the academics. That's the thing. It's completely separate from the academics. The schools are profiting so much off these guys that they don't want to give, not even just a taste. I mean, when you look at junior sports in all other leagues, hockey, well, not so much football here, but in a lot of other leagues, the juniors at 15, 16 years old are getting a little taste of money. Just a small little salary. What term did you use before? They should give them
A stipend, just like
stipend, there
X
we go,
amount of
yeah.
money, right?
Great word, by the way.
2 of them in a row.
Yeah, isn't nefarious.
But Lamp, would you need money to go play in front of 20,000 people for 4 years?
Exactly.
I play with you for free all the time.
All right. Well, that was a great discussion. I really appreciate your guys' insight because me and him, we could go all
It's not
day on this
over.
subject.
It's just-
not over. It's just that we got a little bit of we're getting closer. Yeah.
Just see, no, we're getting back.
We're getting
Like, I'm
back,
looking
but
at your
yeah.
leg. Like, choke you.
I'll
bitch.
stab you in the throat.
Choke you.
Yeah, I'll kill you. But here we go. This is a segment we started a couple weeks ago, George Lamps. It's called Maga versus Malaka. Okay, I think it basically speaks to what we're doing. I'm gonna throw out a name or a situation, and all at the same time, we all just say Maga or Malaka, and then we can cut down whoever was wrong. Let's start with an easy one. Duke University.
Malaka.
Maga.
Full Maga.
Malaka full.
All right. How about little Zaza Pachulia? Maga.
I'm going to have to say Maga.
I think so. Maga too.
Well, I don't want to be the only one, but I'm going Malaka. A lot of spite. Oh, come on, Jeff.
Let's go with a little. Here's a guy I saw a couple weeks ago on Big Brother. Changed his name. Meta World Peace.
Malaka.
Malaka.
Major manga.
Major manga too. I think the guy. You know what? He's a little different, but there's something up with that guy.
Speaking of which, how about The Bachelor?
Oh yeah,
The guy on The Bachelor. Yeah. Who? Do you know the story? He proposed, right? Got to the final, and then dumps her and calls the other girl live on the show.
He brings the movie. He brings the TV set
Yeah.
to break up with the girl.
And now
then-
she's going to be the next Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Is he a Maga or a Malaka?
A Maga for sure.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
We have now lost all female listeners.
DeMar DeRozan.
Maga.
Oh, manga, yeah.
Underrated Maga.
Underrated
Full.
manga. Galis.
Oh, like one of the greatest.
Of all time.
Of all time.
please?
Maga.
Maga. That's
Oh, he's
All right,
a
I just
legend.
threw it out there
He's a
for the
legend.
Greek.
I love it. I love it.
All right, here's a big one. Let's say scenario-wise. The guy at Starbucks, when you walk in and they know your drink before you get there, and the people behind you make comments about that person, is that person that is known that well at Starbucks a Maga or Malaka?
I have a cousin who's one of these guys, by the way.
You know what? I'm gonna say.
Full Maga.
I'm gonna say Maga.
Maga.
Yeah,
Maga, yeah.
Full Maga.
Sometimes you just want to go where everyone knows your name.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with that? Here's a name from old school. I pulled him up because he's NCAA. This guy basically almost won the tournament by himself, right? Wally Zerbiak.
Oh, huge manga.
Maga.
Maga.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Malaka because he couldn't cut it in the NBA. Yeah, I said it. That's right. I changed it.
Yeah, but he's announced it.
Mitch, you
TV
made about
broadcaster now.
$120 million.
Oh, he did?
No, hold on. Don't talk to me about getting money and getting paid. Don't do it.
You're a
Don't
full
do it.
Maga,
Now
Wally.
he's
You're a full Maga. You're a full Maga. I take it back.
Yeah, but he did it in the NCAA.
All right, here's a big
I'm
one.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Feta that is just crumbled feta or cubed feta. I have a big problem with one of them, and you'll find out which one.
So
Crumbled
on
feta,
a salad?
Yeah, on a salad.
Crumbled feta, Maga.
Maga.
Cubed feta, Malaka.
It's like, see, this is why we do it together. Go
this
ahead.
is it.
100%. Totally agree.
Totally agree, George.
I'll agree with that
Thank
too.
God, because there was when I go to Safeway and I see cube feta, I almost want to break the glass, go in there and just crumple it all up. It just
Why-
drives me bananas, man.
You know, like what are you doing? Like, why are you cubing it? What's
It
going on in
drives
the
me-
brine?
Here's a big one. The Kansas City Royals, I don't know if you guys saw this. The Kansas City Royals as an organization took their whole team into a conference room the other day and had a conference and a conversation about pornography. They don't want them basically engaging in any sort of pornography. Are the Kansas City Royals organization Magas or Malakas?
Malakas.
Full Malakas. Like, how do you bring that up in a conversation? You're like, hey, everyone get in this room. We're going to talk about something really big.
Okay.
Listen, we don't want you guys streaming porn. That's basically the big thing.
So we talked about it in the car. John Cena challenges The Undertaker, calls him an egomaniac.
Yeah.
What do you call him?
yeah, you go make
Egomaniac.
Yeah.
John Cena, Maga or Malaka?
I gotta say manga for John Cena. I watched his movies.
They're trying to wake the dead man? Malaka.
You're trying to wait. You caught me off guard with that, Mitch. That was excellent. Okay, I got one. I want to take it in George's world a little bit here.
Sure.
X-Force compared to X-Men, Maga or Malaka.
This is deep.
Yeah, I don't even know what that
Oh,
means.
yeah, don't.
This is nerd talk.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. George knows.
You know, I would have said Malaka at first, but lately it's switching around to Maga. How's that?
Okay, I love it. Okay.
Mitch, exhibit. Manga or Malaka?
Maga. Exactly. All right, here's another one for you. Star Wars, Maga or Malaka?
Get out of here.
Old or new?
There you go. There you go. See, I told you. You nerd.
I actually have I have Kylo Ren chopsticks at work. I do.
Oh, yeah, really surprising to everyone here. Real surprising. All right, what about one of the greatest shooters of all time, Mr. Larry Bird?
Just shooter, Maga, exceptional extraordinaire.
Anybody who can tell Xavier McDaniels, I'm going to shoot the shot to win the game right here and then do it, shoot it right over him. He's biggest Maga
See,
ever.
we should have a greatest Maga of all time. That should be the next 64 list.
We got a lot of work to do.
Of all the Magas, a Malaka 64, a Maga 64.
So is it Maga for you too?
Of course he's
Maga for me.
Of course.
Here's the last one, and we're going to shut it down on this one. And I have a feeling we're all going to be consensus, even with a Viking fan in here. Ooh. Dallas Cowboys, Magas or Malakas?
Oh,
Malakis.
Malaka.
Although, there's an asterisk for me.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
I gotta give him a little bit.
That's true.
Jerry. Well, thank you very much for being here, guys. We loved you having here. Great insight
Thanks for having
and
us,
everything.
Thanks, guys.
This is great. Yeah, follow us on our channels, reallockerroomtalk.com, at Real Locker Room Talk, at Mitch and Dimitri, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the whole shebang. And thanks for being on the show, guys. This is great. We'll do it again. We're going to keep an eye on the NCAA tournament. And really quick, we didn't do it. So everyone, pick their team. Who's their winning? Labro.
I got Gonzaga.
Tar Heels.
I got Virginia.
And I got the Jayhawks. I'm going with it. So, we'll come up with a little wager, the four of us. We can't do it now, but we'll post it on Facebook when George follows the page.
Done.
How about that?
Done.
Sounds beautiful. Great.
Awesome.
Till then, we'll hit the show.
Time to hit the shower. I'm sweet. Ooh.